When we think of genealogy, we often imagine a thick book filled with our ancestors' names, dates, and stories. That can feel overwhelming. Maybe you've thought about writing your family history, but you feel stuck because you don't want to write an entire book. Howdy, I'm Devon Noel, and welcome to Write Your Family History. If you're looking for ways to turn your genealogy research into engaging stories, you're in the right place. I've written everything from scrapbooks to personal memoirs and full-length family history biographies, and I want to help you find a storytelling format that works for you. Also, if you'd like reminders about upcoming videos and tips for getting started, I have a free Getting Started Writing Guide linked in the description box below. It's a great resource to help you take the first step to writing family histories, no matter what format you choose. The truth is, writing about your family history doesn't have to mean creating a book. You might never get started if you're waiting until you have time to write hundreds of pages. And if your relatives aren't big readers, some of them aren't, a book might not be the best way to share your stories with them. Fortunately, there are plenty of creative ways to share family history that are based on writing, but don't require a traditional book format. Here are several formats to consider, grouped by type. Let's start with the tangentially related writing formats. If you enjoy sharing small discoveries as you research, consider starting a blog. Short stories, research insights, and even transcriptions of old letters or diaries can make for fascinating reading. A blog allows your family members to follow along as you uncover new details, and it can be easily shared with relatives near and far. If you're looking for an easy-to-use platform to share your family history discoveries, consider popular options like Squarespace, Weebly, Wix, Medium, or Blogger. And yeah, I'm not a real big fan of WordPress, but if you are a WordPress fan, you can go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments. Now, these platforms offer user-friendly interfaces, customizable templates, and helpful guides to help you get started. Here are a few additional tips for blogging your family history research. Write in a conversational tone. Imagine you're sharing your stories with a friend over a cup of coffee or hot chocolate. Include images. Photos, maps, and documents bring your family stories to life. So if you have them, share them. Cite your sources. This adds credibility to your research and helps others find the same information. And have fun! Sharing your family history should be an enjoyable experience. Remember, I've always said, if family history isn't fun, you're doing it wrong. Next, consider a family history newsletter. A printed or emailed newsletter can be a fun way to share family history in bite-sized pieces without committing to a blog. You can feature ancestor spotlights, research updates, or even family interviews in a personal and engaging format. Newsletters can be created using a variety of tools, both digital and traditional. User-friendly online platforms like Canva can be used for printed or digital newsletters, or MailChimp and MailerLite can be used for email newsletters because they offer templates and design elements to simplify the newsletter making process, which, come on, the design process is half the problem of creating them. However, most word processing programs have newspaper templates as well that you can use. Here are some additional tips for creating a family history newsletter. Again, write in that conversational style. Share short stories about ancestors. And you don't have to tell their whole life history, but you can focus on different events in their life, which is what we talk about here when you're drafting your family histories. Include images. Photos of people, places, and documents and things bring your keep family story to life. Document the heirlooms and keepsakes. What better way to share stories behind the treasures around the family home or in the deep storage of the archive than to document those heirlooms in a newsletter? Request feedback and input. Ask family members to review the stories and offer feedback. Did you get something wrong? Could you improve the storytelling process? Do they know something you don't know? Request feedback and highlight the relatives who read and respond. So maybe writing is still smaller, but you want something different. And that's when we can use picture-based formats. So social media picture sharing is a wave of the future or wave of the present. In today's digital world, social media has become a powerful tool for connecting with family members and sharing the stories that make up our family histories. Pictures sharing is an excellent way to bring the past to life and spark new conversation. Whether you're a seasoned genealogist or just starting to explore your family roots, share photos of your family history on social media to make your research more engaging and accessible. Facebook and Instagram are both excellent platforms for sharing family history photos. Facebook allows you to create private or public groups for family members to share and collaborate. At the same time, Instagram's focus on visuals and hashtags helps curate and organize your family's story more interactively and engagingly. And you don't have to just stick with static images. You can create little slideshows that have text on it and some music, and then can just make it a little more fun. Here are some tips you need to think about when sharing pictures. Protect privacy so that when you share family photos, especially on public forums, it's important to be mindful of privacy, and privacy not just in term and legality. Some people are private by nature. So avoid sharing sensitive information such as address or personal details without permission, and consider using privacy settings to control who can see the post. Next, when you're sharing photos, make sure that your photos have captions or text that go along and describe the who, the what, the when, the why, the how, and ask questions. I don't know who this person is. Does anybody know who it is? Or here's a funny picture of Uncle Earl standing on his head in the backyard. Adding a short story or memory beneath the image can also make it more meaningful and engaging for others. Finally, ask your family members to share their own photos and stories in the comments. Creating a collaborative family history project is a great way to connect and ensure that no story or image is lost. Sometimes you have a lot more data than a photo reveals. So what can you do then? Well, a well-designed timeline or infographic can tell a more compelling story than a photograph, or it might be a good substitute. You can create a visual representation of an ancestor's life, major migrations, or key historical events that shaped your family's journey. You can also put little fun facts about certain ancestors onto the graphic, or maybe you can share how many people have a birthday in May, how many ancestors have 10 children in their family. You see what I'm getting at? You can get really, really creative with these infographics. Tools like Canva or even PowerPoint make it easy to design eye-catching visuals. So here's a few tips. Choose the right focus. Decide what story you want to tell. Is the life of one ancestor, the migration of the family, or a specific historical event that impacted your family? Or do you want to curate some fun facts that many people in the family have? Gather the information, the names, the dates, the places, and the fun facts. Use visuals. Incorporate maps and icons and cute little drawings to make your timeline or infographic more engaging. Now, scrapbooking is a visual way to tell stories. Scrapbooking or photo booking would be an excellent way to share visuals. Creating a scrapbook page can help bring your ancestors life because you'll include photos, documents, and memorabilia, and you can weave short stories to not only share information, but to connect to the past by adding some context. I've done this myself, and it's a great way to blend storytelling with visual effects. For the sake of time, I'm going to direct you to the Family History Fanatics website that has many blog posts about scrapbooking and links to 2 scrapbooking how-to books that I've written. Now, not everyone enjoys reading or looking at pictures. Sometimes sound recordings can connect families to their heritage. In either of the following formats, record individual family members sharing stories, memories, and anecdotes. You can also include sound recordings of musicians, singers, orators, and other audio-based talents of your relatives and ancestors. You can even include audio recordings of written stories in your own voice or another relative. So there are two options you have is to create a family audio archive. What's great about sharing audio files in a file sharing platform is that you have control over who can access the drive to either add content or listen to recordings. The downside is you might run out of storage space. Another advantage is sometimes you run into copyright infringement about a performance that you may have done or an ancestor may have done. Sometimes you're not, quote, legally allowed to use the music, but you want to share the recording of your ancestor performing that piece. Sometimes the family audio archive can help. The audio archive approach allows each family member can submit a recording whenever they're ready, creating a collaboration of different voices and perspectives over time. You can share audio files for a family using cloud storage services like Google Drive, Dropbox, or OneNote. If you know of some other ones, let me know in the comments section. Sharing family audio files on genealogy websites such as Family Search and Ancestry can be a great way to preserve and share your family's stories. Many of these websites have features that make it easy to upload and organize audio files, including tagging the individuals mentioned in the recordings so that you upload one copy and then every profile that has a connection to that story because they're named in that file can then have it linked to their profile. It's a pretty cool detail. Additionally, mobile apps for some of these websites allow you to record stories on the go and directly upload them to relevant ancestors pages. This makes capturing and sharing your family's memory easy, ensuring that they are preserved for future generations. If you run out of storage space for audio file sharing, or if you just want to experiment, you should leverage podcasting platforms. You can publish a podcast privately or for the public, which might lead to cousin connections. Some popular podcast hosting platforms that support private podcasting are apparently Podbean, Supercats, Captivate, Transistor, and Buzzsprout. I don't have any experience with these platforms, but if you do, let me know in the comments. You can also leverage podcasting platforms, especially with video podcasting, on platforms like Rumble, YouTube, and Spotify. Now, you don't have to have visuals for your spoken word. You can just have a static photo. But if your goal is to reach people where they are, consider posting on platforms where your family is. For a helpful example of a family history podcast, check out Townsend Legacy. I'll link to that in the description box. Videos can take many forms, from short social media clips to longer documentary style production. For instance, short stories and slideshows. You can leverage Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and other short video platforms to share quick, fun discoveries or even snippets from old home movies. Longer videos, if you have those or if you want to generate those, you can share them on YouTube, Rumble, and Vimeo, which will allow you to dive deeper into an ancestor's life, adding narration, music, and historical images. If you have a performance of an ancestor, be mindful that you don't run into copyright violations on these platforms. You might have to share some of these videos in a family archive. If you want to learn more tips and tricks on how to create videos that pack a punch, be sure to check out the channel member webinar, which will be linked in the description box. You could consider a format with video of a family newsletter. So instead of a written newsletter, consider compiling monthly or quarterly video updates where you showcase new research, highlight a family member, or present a story from the past. No matter the length or platform, video is a powerful way to make your family history engaging and accessible to all generations. And let's face it, some parents would really like some wholesome, uplifting stories rather than some of the junk that is brain rot for their kids to watch. I have a few final tips. Keep it simple. Don't try to cram too much information into any of these formats, particularly video. Keep it focused and concise. Whenever possible, sit down with your relatives and record their stories and memories. Ask open-ended questions and let them speak freely. If you need tips on how to do that, be sure to check the link in the description box for content on this specific topic. But a fun example of this video format in action, check out the Prairie Grove History channel. Once you have created any of these creative formats, be sure to share it with your family and your friends. You can post everything online if you need to, or just send out emails and text messages and say, hey, please check out this family history and let me know what you think. Notice that writing family history doesn't have to mean a book. The important thing is to find a format that allows you to share your family's story in a way that works for you and your audience. I'd love to hear from you. What formats are you implementing to share your family history with your loved ones? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe on your way out. Then go write your family history.